Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Hit the bell, subscribe. We have new content coming out daily. Make sure you subscribe. God bless you guys. Joining us now is Alina Habba, General Counsel for Save America PAC and spokeswoman for Donald Trump. Alina, thank you for joining the program. First, how is the president's spirits with this MAGA superseding indictment that came last week?
He's tough. You know him, Charlie. He's tough. I mean, I hope that I have that resilience. He's really set an amazing example for any American who's feeling targeted unnecessarily. He wakes up and goes at it again and keeps hitting hard because he wants to save this country, as we know. So he's doing really well, actually.
So let's go through some of the, let's just say, accusations. The superseding indictment, the DOJ, accuses Donald Trump of deleting surveillance footage. What actually happened here?
No surveillance footage was deleted. Everything was turned over, and the Department of Justice has it. The president and his company and anybody that falls in that realm knows that when we get a subpoena, we comply. And no matter what bogus indictments they want to put out there, they don't have in that indictment that anything was deleted. In fact, they have everything. So I hate the misleading to the American public. I find it disgusting and disgraceful. President Trump's always complied with everything that they've asked, even letting them in their home, as we've heard the story time and time again prior to the raid.
So how much footage did you guys turn over? Because the DOJ, obviously, they have a track record of lying, and then they're able to indict whatever they want and drop charges later. But, how much footage did you guys end up turning over?
The footage that was requested was turned over. So I'm sure you can imagine how broad that would be. But, we turned over what was requested.
Well, that's pretty simple. So talk about indicting Walt.
Simple.
Yeah. So talk about them indicting Walt and also the maintenance man.
It's a standard. It's funny, we hear that in Georgia, they're talking about RICO, right? And RICO to me is something you hear from the mob. And when I think of the mob, I see that as the current administration. I think that the thing that they are pointing the finger at to Donald Trump is the exact thing they're guilty of. And that's evidenced by taking a Navy veteran, somebody who worked in the Obama administration for President Obama directly, somebody who served for President Trump while he was in the administration, who's clearly not a politically driven person, but an American person, and indicting them on with the president, and then coming after them and making the American public feel that they've done something wrong is absolute intimidation and unfair and unwarranted. And I know these gentlemen, and it makes me very sad to see what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're going after innocent, ordinary people, the maintenance man. In fact, the front page of Citizen Free Press says regime media goes nuts for maintenance man, right? Mar-a-Lago property manager makes first court appearance in classified document case. I mean, Alina, this is so infuriating. They're going after anybody who is remotely in the orbit of Donald Trump. And they want to try to get Carlos de Oliveira to, of course, turn on President Trump. They're throwing everything. They're doing the same thing to the alternate electors in Michigan. CNN writes, which I hate reading from CNN, but this article is really making the rounds. It says that the property manager and newest co-defendant in the special counsel's criminal case charging former President Trump and his staff for mishandling classified information made his initial appearance in a Miami courtroom on Monday. They want to have anybody in the orbit suffer and then try to get them to a place of desperation to concoct some sort of acceptable narrative to be used against Donald Trump.
Absolutely. I mean, Charlie, we're at a point where, look at these people. One's a Navy veteran who served in both a Democrat and a Republican administration and served fully and well, served on the Navy. Another gentleman is an immigrant. He's the American story. And we're now just pressuring left, right, and center because you can't get to your political opponent. That's not the American way. That's the communist way. And it's really a disgrace, I have to say. I'm disappointed and I feel for them. And I'm glad that everybody's going to get their day in court.
Well, it shouldn't have to be this way. This is the way that Maoist countries operate, where now anybody in Trump's orbit is afraid of the knock on your door. So, Alina, there's two other things that are simultaneously happening, but I first just want to give you an opportunity, and I will defend this. You know, people were like, oh my goodness, Donald Trump's PAC is spending so much on legal fees. And I say, oh, really? Why do you think that is? He's under 6 different simultaneous legal assaults. New York, Fulton, DOJ. Yeah, if you were under massive assault, you would use those resources as well. It's unbelievable, actually, that anyone would find something wrong. Do you have a reaction to that, by the way? Because the government has unlimited resources. I thought it was such a cheap shot, I'll be honest, by Governor DeSantis' campaign. They come out, oh, Donald Trump is spending all this money to defend himself. Yeah, you would too if the Department of Justice was trying to put you in jail for 400 years. Alina, your reaction?
You know, I'm the legal spokeswoman, so I'm very careful about mixing into campaign world. What I can say in terms of legal is there's nothing illegal about this. And when you support the president, you support getting him into office. I think the one thing we can all agree on is they've weaponized the legal system to prevent him from getting into office. So the defense of the same, I don't see as problematic. And I know that legally it's not. And that's really all I'm going to say on that. But if you look at the numbers, I think it's just completely disgusting. But I also invite the public to look at the numbers that the DOJ is spending attacking President Trump, which are astronomical.
There's not even an inference that it's illegal. What people are trying to do is they're trying to make a political point while the government is spending tens of millions, soon to be hundreds of millions of dollars in man hours from Manhattan DA, Department of Justice. You have a moral right to defend yourself.